So was there at any point where you were on the phone with the scammer giving them your
No.
personal information?
Tom did everything right. He got a suspicious text from his bank. He didn't call the number in the text. He flipped his card over and dialed the number printed on the back. The real Chase Bank told him everything was fine, nothing to worry about. He hung up, feeling safe. Minutes later, his phone rang again. Same Chase number on the caller ID, same professional voice, same calm, reassuring tone. By the end of that call, $42,000 was gone, the bulk of their life savings. A retired couple in their 70s, on a fixed income, gone.
We're in our 70s, we're retired, we don't work. We have a fixed income, and when they pull that money out of your savings account, it gives you a real bitter taste.
Here's what makes this case unlike almost anything we've covered on this channel. Tom didn't make a single mistake, not one. He followed every piece of advice experts give, and it still wasn't enough. Stay with me, because what happened to Tom and Ann Hill exposes something deeply broken about the system that's supposed to protect us. And before we go any further, if you haven't subscribed to Crime Max yet, hit that button right now and turn on notifications. We cover cases like this every single week. Real operations, real victims, real tactics. You do not want to miss what's coming next. Also, if you've recently received an unexpected text or call from your bank about suspicious activity, even if the number matches your bank exactly, do not provide any one-time passcode over the phone. Hang up. Walk into your branch in person or call back using only the number on your physical card. We'll go deeper on this at the end of the video. Tom and Ann Hill are retired and living in St. Augustine, Florida. Their life is quiet, deliberately quiet. Decades of steady work, living within their means, saving slowly and consistently through automatic transfers and deferred purchases. Their money didn't come from windfalls. It came from discipline. Every dollar in that Chase account represented years of careful decisions. It was set aside for medical needs, for daily living, for the years ahead on a fixed income. Mornings were routine. Errands were simple. Banking was something they did rarely and carefully. Nothing about their days suggested crisis. Nothing suggested risk. On January 18, 2024, that stability broke. It started with a text message, short, neutral in tone. It claimed to be from Chase Bank and asked about a suspicious transaction. The couple had received fraud alerts before. Nothing about the language seemed unusual. But Tom didn't respond to the text, didn't click anything in it, didn't call any number it contained. He turned his debit card over and dialed the number printed on the back.
I got that message first, and then I didn't call that number. I called the number on the back of my debit card.
He got through to a real Chase representative, asked about the message, was told there was no fraudulent charge on the account. Nothing was wrong. The call ended. Tom and Ann believed the matter was closed. It wasn't. Minutes later, the phone rang again. The caller ID showed a legitimate Chase Bank number. The voice on the line was professional, calm, authoritative. The caller said they were following up on a fraud issue, and they referenced the earlier call as if they had been watching it happen. They knew the right words. They spoke with the kind of institutional confidence that comes from years of dealing with banks over the phone. Hold music, verification questions, polite urgency. The caller explained that a wire transfer had already been initiated on the account. He framed it not as a theft, but as an error, something that needed immediate correction. He said Chase was trying to protect their funds, that delays could make recovery impossible. What the couple could see on their screens reinforced what they were hearing. Account balances appeared to shift. Transfers appeared pending. Everything the voice described seemed to be happening in real time right in front of them. The couple had spent their entire lives dealing with banks exactly this way, through phone calls like this one, through verification steps and hold music and procedural instructions. Nothing about the interaction felt wrong. They followed the instructions. They provided a one-time passcode sent to the phone number on file. The first wire transfer, $20,000, was initially denied by Chase's own systems. Emails from the bank would later confirm this, but minutes later, a second attempt went through. Within 10 minutes, $20,000 was gone. Tom and Ann didn't know this yet. They were still on the phone, still being guided, still being reassured that Chase was helping them fix the problem. The next day, January 19th, another wire transfer was authorized, another $20,000. And here is the detail that makes this case truly chilling. Police records later revealed that calls directing Chase to authorize the wire transfers didn't come from Tom or Ann at all. They came from an imposter, someone who had spoofed the couple's own phone numbers, their personal numbers, the ones Chase had on file. So when Chase's systems received calls authorizing the transfers, the caller ID showed Tom and Ann's numbers. The bank's systems read them as legitimate, as coming directly from their verified customers. Think about what that means. The criminals weren't just pretending to be Chase when they called Tom. They were also pretending to be Tom when they called Chase. Both sides of the transaction were spoofed. Both institutions, the bank and the couple, were being deceived simultaneously by the same operation. A fraud detective who later reviewed the case wrote something that should have changed everything. After listening to recordings of both the real and the fake callers, the detective concluded there was no way the wire transfer should ever have been authorized. The voices were clearly different. Within 10 minutes, you'll see it in the paperwork, and then that's when you called and the money was already gone. By the time the call ended, $42,000 had left their account, the bulk of everything they had saved, everything meant to carry them through the rest of their lives. When Tom and Ann contacted Chase after realizing what had happened, the tone changed immediately. The language became procedural, cold. The transfers were described as authorized. The word fraud was quietly replaced with the word transaction. Chase denied the claim. Their reasoning was specific. A one-time passcode had been sent to a phone number ending in 8157. Their records showed the correct code was provided. On that basis, the bank said it could not credit the account for the wire transfers. But here's where it gets even more troubling. The couple disputes that number entirely.
And this tells us we cannot credit your account for a wire transfer. The wire transfer reviewed sent to an online PT code in the number of 8157. We don't have that. It's not our phone number.
Police reports show their phone numbers end in 8158 and 8151, not 8157. That number, the one Chase says received the passcode, doesn't match either of their phones. That discrepancy has never been resolved. Chase has not reopened the case.
We did everything according to Chase's regulations to help you. It's in print. Say, if there's a fraud, you got to let us know immediately, which was done within 10 minutes, I think it was.
They filed police reports. St. Johns County fraud investigators reviewed the case and documented the spoofing. Chase attempted to recall the money. It was already gone. The bank closed the case. And for nearly 2 years, Tom and Ann Hill have been fighting to get their money back.
Do you feel that Chase should give you your money back?
Absolutely, 100%.
Absolutely.
There's no doubt in my mind.
Why would we be fighting for 2 years if we did this? I mean, this is, wiped out our savings.
We're in our 70s, retired, we don't work.
What happened to Tom and Ann isn't just a story about one couple and one bank. It's a story about a gap in the system that criminals have learned to exploit with increasing precision. The technology to spoof any phone number, from anywhere in the world, is widely available. Organized operations use it to attack from both sides at once, calling victims while simultaneously calling their banks. creating a seamless illusion of legitimacy that even careful, diligent people cannot see through. Tom called the right number. Anne never clicked an unknown link. They provided information only after being guided, step by step, by what appeared to be their trusted institution. And they still lost everything. The flags were raised. The first wire was denied. A fraud detective said the transfer should never have gone through. And yet, $42,000 left the account of two retired people on a fixed income. And the bank's answer was authorized. Here is what you need to do right now to protect yourself from exactly what happened to Tom and Anne. 1. A callback from your bank is not automatically safe. Criminals monitor your calls and spoof the exact number your bank just gave you within seconds. If you receive a follow-up call after contacting your bank, hang up and call back yourself using only the number on your physical card. 2. Never provide a one-time passcode over the phone. Your real bank will never ask for this over an inbound call. That code is yours alone. The moment someone asks for it, the call is fraudulent. End it immediately. 3. Verify wire transfers in person. For any wire transfer, especially large ones, walk into your branch and authorize it face-to-face. No legitimate bank will pressure you to authorize a major transfer exclusively over the phone. 4. Ask your bank to add a verbal password to your account. Some banks allow you to set a unique passphrase required before any transfer is processed. Ask your branch about this today. 5. Document everything immediately. If you suspect fraud, screenshot everything. Write down every number that called you. Save every text. Timestamps matter enormously when investigators review spoofing cases. 6. Escalate and keep escalating. If your bank denies your fraud claim, file with the Consumer Financial Protection Bureau at consumerfinance.gov. Contact local law enforcement. File a report at ic3.gov. And do not stop. Tom and Anne have been fighting for 2 years. The system responds to pressure. Tom and Anne Hill did everything right, every single thing. They didn't click unknown links. They didn't call suspicious numbers. They verified through official channels. They reported within 10 minutes. And nearly 2 years later, they are still fighting. Still on a fixed income. Still without their $42,000. Still waiting for a bank that called their verified fraud a transaction to look again. Did you authorize the money? Absolutely not. Zero. 100%. That answer deserves better than a closed case file. If you or someone you know has had a wire transfer denied by your bank after a spoofing operation, had a fraud claim closed without resolution, or fought for months to recover money that was taken without your authorization, drop your story in the comments right now. Tell us what happened and how it was handled. Your experience could be the warning that protects someone else watching this video tonight. Every detail matters. Every story counts. Share this video with someone you love, especially anyone who banks by phone, because right now, awareness is the only protection the system isn't providing. Subscribe to Crime Max. Real cases, real tactics, real protection. New content every week. Hit that subscribe button, turn on notifications, and we'll see you in the next one.